happiness and joy is so overrated in our society. We're constantly being pounded with messages of us having to be happy and positive and thankful and blessed and living in the moment. And that is not the majority's state of mind. I mean, I'm not saying we're all depressed. I'm saying happiness is equal to sad and equal to anger and equal to hurt and equal to all the other emotions.
Just like that, we are live with another episode 200.
198. It's not
Dude,
200. 198.
This is.
I checked. I did the math.
Are you sure?
I did the math.
I'm sure this is
check.
200.
Okay, you can know. 200th episode.
Episode
200th episode of the
200
AT show. We're gonna have to do this again. But yeah, woo! We've been doing this 200 days now. 200 days, Layla.
Man.
Wow, amazing. So make sure if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe, please, by now. After 200
days of effort, like why here? Let me fix you guys. Why are we still here? Like, come on, man, subscribe.
To meet all the awesome people, like the wonderful Bahraini Layla Alsharif.
Yeah, so welcome to the show, Layla, on our 200th episode. Let the world know who you are and what you do.
Well, I'm Layla Alsharif from Bahrain. I do lots of many things that we will uncover together.
Amazing.
Sure, yeah, but your main thing is you gotta let the audience know. I would do your introduction. Look, I would do your introduction, but I find that I always do the introductions a little bit like underwhelming because some guys are like, wow, is that like okay?
Well, it's cool for people to see also what your mindset is right now, like what you're thinking of right now, what you're planning right now. Yeah.
You know, this is the first time in my life that I'm sort of embracing not knowing or not having a destination and just sort of enjoying the journey. So I'm not like labeling anything here. I'm just kind of having fun.
All right, let's start off. All right, let's start off with your journey here. How about that? Start off from the very beginning, right? You lived in Dubai for a bit, and then you started a little business. Is that how you got started in Dubai?
No, I was living there, went to school there, graduated high school there, went to Canada for my undergrad, and then came to Bahrain, got married, and I lived a corporate job. I mean, I was working a corporate job, and I did that for about 7 years, and I just felt like that was no longer working for me. So I went back to Canada to study, did some cake design certificate. Came back, started my designer cakes business. Did that for another 7 years, if you see a pattern here. And then decided that I kind of no longer wanted to do that. And now I'm sort of in this like awesome space of really not knowing what my next move is.
You know what? This is great because I feel like a lot of people don't know what they're up to right now, especially with COVID and everything.
Absolutely.
And then, so what I want to
know what I think the awesome thing is that I didn't end my business because of COVID. I ended it before COVID. So when COVID happened, I was like, now this is why you should trust your gut instincts.
It was meant to be. There you go. Right? A lot of people, I actually realized a lot of people like stopped or closed down their business just before COVID hit, or they traveled back to wherever they were from just before COVID hit. And it's weird how a lot of people had that.
But a lot of people
close
businesses all the time. I know people close their businesses all the time and travel all the time. I don't think, but that's pretty cool, Layla. So let's jump right into it. So why did you? So you're doing designer cakes. That's amazing. Why were you like, okay, this is not for me?
That's a very good question. Listen, I think. I'm very fluid, and I like to kind of explore, and I like to be playful in my way of approaching life and a bit more curiously driven. So I know even if something works and it makes sense and I'm good at it and it's bringing me a good income, I don't necessarily stick with it just because I feel I've given it all I had and I can no longer give. So when I reach that state, I feel like, okay, what else? You know, I feel like life's too short for me to be doing just one thing all my life. So,
that's what most people do, Layla. You understand that?
I know.
Vast majority of people, They get a job straight out of high school or college, and then they just work that one thing, and then that's it. It just
That's
rinse
it.
and repeats and maintenance, right?
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
I know, and that's not a bad thing if that works for them. But
Hmm.
there's a group of people just like me where we find comfort in change. You know, some people find change so hard, and like
Right.
it's, you know, their anxiety's through the roof if there's change. But I feel
Hmm.
like that's where my comfort zone is. So I need to change to keep myself alive and to keep myself interested
Wow.
and to keep myself, you know,
To keep myself
enjoying
alive.
life.
You said it.
Yeah.
Understood.
All right.
So you embrace the fact that change is inevitable, and that's what I'm liking about what I'm hearing right now, and that's great. So
Absolutely.
you decide to, instead of let the change control you, you decide to control the change, which is
Exactly.
not bad. Yeah, I
Not
like it.
bad.
So
That's pretty
what
cool.
about change makes you like? What about change makes you interested in changing all the time, and exploring different ways of changing? What about it that makes you?
It's
What pushes you
exciting. It's
forward?
like, you know, it's like starting a new relationship. It's exciting. It's you don't know what to expect. You're nervous and excited at the same time. You're exhilarated. You wake up refreshed every morning because you're looking forward to it. So it's, I think it's that aspect. And I think we as human beings can excel at so many things, but we don't give our chance to do so because we're like always doing just one thing all our lives. But I think if we gave ourselves the chance to do multiple things at different stages of our lives, I think we can excel at many different things. And the point isn't to excel here, it is to enjoy what it is you're doing, you know?
Fair,
Wow.
fair. Yeah, I
Wow,
guess
that's some awesome insight
it
from a person
is.
who's done a lot. Yeah,
It
pretty cool.
is.
Because I just imagine you'd want to stick to something that's stable and secure because it gives you exactly that, the stability and security. Most people are afraid of not knowing what to do. I feel like that's the
But
major,
that's where they stop living, right?
right. Wow.
Yeah.
And then well, another thing I'm wondering about is that, like, um when people go like through a lot of change or something, it is very stressful, right? And then how come you're not stressed about it? Do you have any ways to th- things to reduce your stress or?
I think I've just really tried to enjoy the process more than the. So I am studying psychotherapy at the moment, and I'm so interested in it. Like I'm really really intrigued by it, and I'm just halfway through my certification. We've got another, I think, 4 months to go. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be a therapist after this. I'm just saying I'm so interested in the journey that I want to learn and I want to know more. And if it turns out that I do become a therapist because that just feels right at that time, then be it. And if not, then not. You know, I have
Mhm.
another project that I'm working on, and that may, you know, materialize and that may not. And I'm okay with it either
Right.
way.
Hmm. All right. I feel like, just to continue, I feel some of the problem is that every single day, like if you're not doing something, every single day passes by, and I know people who feel like they're just wasting the days. Even people who have a job, like a real job,
Mm-hmm.
and or whatever real job, like like, and they're working every single day. I think part of the
Yeah.
fear is that time is fleeting, and every single day,
No, but
if you don't push, something's gonna happen. So how do you feel okay with?
there's a difference between being lazy and depressed and being unable to produce than taking a break and really savoring every moment and enjoying life. I think there's a big difference in terms of your point of view, yeah, your perspective. So I don't think I'm not doing anything. I think I've worked really hard the past 14 years to be able to say that, you know, I deserve this break. I'm not going to beat
Right.
myself up about it and I'm going to
Hmm.
enjoy it. And once I started letting go, oh my God, it's been amazing. It's been amazing because I've suddenly decided to wake up at 5 a.m., go on my 5 a.m. walks, enjoy my time, come home. I'm more energetic. I have lots of new ideas. I'm studying something new. I'm doing online courses. I'm there for my kids. I go for my walks. I go to the gym. So it's not like I'm really sitting around all day, if that makes any sense.
Right,
I'm doing all the things that I wanted to do.
Amazing. So I know that now for many students during this era of online teaching, they seem to have the same feeling that you described, Ali. I'm one of those people where every day all I have is this 2 hours of studying, and it's like I can't even get myself to do those 2 hours. Why? Because we've been on this study leave
Computer.
for so long on a computer, and it's just like it's very overwhelming to like for me to get up, sit, study, and like it went from being oh look, no more uni, it's fun, to oh wow, I'm enjoying this, to when am I gonna be back on campus, like oh I'm just done. I give up. Like so it's very underwhelming, I feel like, or overwhelming actually, when you have to sit around all day and do nothing. But sometimes break is good, because I remember a time in my life where I remember a time in my life where I literally had no holidays. Legit, I had no holidays for like a year and a half straight. Like exam after exam after exam. And it's just like, oh, I'm looking for that break. So grass is always going to be greener on the other side. And it's just a fact of life we're going to have to explore or
But if you
accept.
take your perspective and say, what are all the things that I wanted to do when I was on holiday, and actually do them now, I think you'll find yourself in an awesome space.
But the thing is, 90% of what I want to do is, under lockdown or restrictions or can't travel, or so it's like.
I know what you're saying, but a lot of the things, honestly, usually the things that we want to do is very much connected to nature. So usually you'd say, I want to bike more, exercise more, go out for walks, or go for a run, or swim in the lake, or whatever it is. So I feel like there's a lot at our disposal and a lot that's free and available for us that we don't really utilize.
I see. Interesting.
Okay. So on the topic of like nature, you say that this is something that we want to do is go to nature, but I feel like that's not something that everyone maybe wants to do in their spare time. Like when if I like, for me when I was a kid, like I used to live in Beirut, the city, and I used to hate having to go to the mountains and the village and connect to nature.
I know, my kids hate it too.
Okay.
They don't hate it. No.
So I can relate.
No. Let me rephrase.
Okay. No, go for it.
They don't like the idea of me wanting to take them out of the house, because then that means less computer time, less TV time. But once we're there, they don't want to come back home.
I see.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it was the same with us, Eddie. Remember when we went once to your place up in the mountains and we really didn't want to go? And then we went and it was like, oh, can we just spend one more day here? Like just one more.
Right.
But
it is kind of scary just going to a place with no Wi-Fi or no computers or no, I don't know, connection, and just like being, because that's the definition of just being. Like when you go to nature, we're also used to doing activities and being on our phones and watching Netflix and having 5 things going on at the same time. But when you cut it out,
you learn to talk and become a human being for once, which is great.
Exactly. And play with the sand or play with this. I mean, I just watch them play and they don't want to come home. And I feel like there's so much space for them, and they're like the sense of freedom that they have there. I don't know. It's amazing.
It is amazing. But what's even more amazing is the fact that, psychologically speaking, being away from the internet like once a week at least is very, very good for your health and your mental well-being, which is why I encourage breaks and taking breaks like all the time. And I always say, you know what, you're just overdoing it. Just, take the day off, or, take the week off.
Not everyone has the luxury of taking the day off. So exactly. If my counter offer would be take an hour off, take an hour off and go out and just get some fresh air. Because honestly, so I started this whole 5 a.m. trend. So one of my friends is a runner and she wakes up at 5 a.m. every day and she goes for runs. And we wanted to do a rock climbing activity together. And she's like, listen, I've got a 1-year-old baby. The only time I can do is 5 a.m. And I was like, oh man, I don't wake up at that time, but okay, I'll come with you. So we were a group of, I think 4. We woke up at 5 a.m. I was so nauseous. You know when you have to wake up for a flight so early and you feel sick because you didn't sleep enough?
Yes.
That's how I felt.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I felt. Anyways, we woke up when
Waking
I
up at
was
5.
right.
Yeah.
I was so happy. We were there at 5. I was so happy, and I thought, I wish I could do this more often. This is maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I haven't stopped it, so I continue to do that every
Oh
single day.
wow. Wow.
Yeah, I
That's a
know.
lot.
Yeah,
Ali, you
and
heard that? That's so wow.
I I
Waking up
did I had a
every
time I
day.
had a time in my life where I did the same thing like
Yeah?
recently. Yeah, it
Really?
was around November. I used to wake up when the sun first starts to rise and I would walk for like
Mhm.
2 kilometers
Oh nice.
It's
outside.
freaking
It
amazing.
is.
How's
Mhm.
your energy the rest of the day?
It was really good, I have to admit. It was
Right?
very, very, very good. Just walking out when the sun, like 5 a.m. here, it's still dark. So I wake up at 5 a.m. I just drink coffee. And then 5:30 is when the like sunrise is just about to happen. I'm on the
And
streets
it's
walking.
yeah, and it's so beautiful
It
when the
is.
sun is first rising. It's so
It
beautiful.
is. And
So
I'm in
I
a
found it
mountainous region here, so
right
it's great.
amazing.
It is.
So I
Yeah.
found
That's
that
cool.
that's really kind of brought me a lot of peace and a lot of energy at the same time, and it's just kind of really kind of realigned internally.
It does, especially when I have when like I it's natural for human beings to think of a lot of negative emotions or feel
Yeah,
hopeless at times. But
absolutely,
whenever I go out and I walk and I'm thinking about life and everything that's going on, I feel like I take it in more of a positive light when I do walk,
absolutely.
and it's just I don't have my phone with me, like on my hand. It's in my pocket, obviously. I have my earphones in, listening to good music, right? And I'm just walking. That's all I'm doing. It's literally just I'm walking. And my dad used to call me mid walk. He's like, "Oh, you're up, you're awake." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm starting this new thing where I walk when the sun is up." He's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Okay, Dad. When the sun wakes up, I wake up." He's like, "Oh, okay." I was like,
Well,
Nice.
if you think about it, I think that's what we're meant to do. Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, so if you wake up for Fajr prayers, I don't think we're meant to go back to sleep, which is what we all do.
Yep.
I think the whole point of it is that it's the beginning of the day,
The
and that
day.
is,
Wow.
you know,
Sunrise.
True.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. It
Right.
is, and it's amazing.
Before we
Yeah.
had
No.
lights and phones and screens and all that stuff. That's
Yeah.
how natural it's supposed to be.
It
yeah.
Ali,
is.
do you mind me asking why did you stop doing it? You said you were
Because
doing it for a while.
then online studies started and my sleep and studying wasn't whenever I have to study you always find that my sleep is like upside down literally, but at the time I was still like working my way towards my midterms, so I had nothing to do, plus online everything just turned online,
Right.
right?
Hmm.
So attending the classes wasn't an issue. It was just now it's
Hmm.
hard now to
But I think part of the point of with getting up early and walking and being connected to nature is that especially in stressful times that it will help you
supposed to
more
help
and
de-stress you. Yeah, I
Absolutely,
know.
than
But
when in
absolutely.
no, I'm
sometimes
just trying to. I'm not pressuring you. I'm just
yeah,
trying
no,
to
no, I
because
know, I know,
we
I
all
know.
do it.
No,
I do
it's
it
fine. It's
the
fine. It's
same,
fine. No,
right?
I'll
It's
explain. I'll
like
explain. Now, what
yeah.
I'm saying isn't right, and it's not supposed to justify my reasons for not doing what I used to do.
Hmm.
But it just so happened that because I was tired and I had to spend days studying, right? Like I would reach 1 a.m., right? And I'm like, oh, I'm not done.
Mm,
Okay, let me finish this and I'll go to sleep. Oh, it's 3
mm,
a.m. But sunrise is in 5 a.m., 5:30 actually. So I'm not gonna sleep 2 hours and a half just
Right,
to walk. I'm sorry,
right.
no, like
mm.
Hmm.
that's not gonna happen, right? That's just me. And that made everything go. But I'm free now, so I'm trying to get back into the habit of wake up in the morning, go take a walk, and not wake up at 1 or 12 a.m. or 12 p.m.
Yeah. So I've just been doing that and posting photos because honestly, the scenery is amazing at that time. And the amount of people that have joined me, and then we made a group, and some girls joined, and other people started getting kind of motivated to wake up and do their own walks and their own. So it's really a domino
That
effect
is
of
actually
that
really
one.
cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's pretty cool. All right, awesome,
Yeah.
Layla. So what if you're stressed, like we were talking about? Like, what if there are situations where you have a lot of work to do, but you know that you need to take out the time to do things like go out for a walk, but sometimes you just
Listen,
get so
it
stressed.
doesn't have to be a 1 hour walk. If you
Okay.
enjoy reading a book or painting or sketching, I mean, it's very personal. So whatever it is that you enjoy, if you want to journal before you sleep or you want to play an instrument, so it's kind of like doing small acts of love during the day, and as many as you
Right.
can do for yourself, even if it's like, you know, a warm bath or a hot cocoa or whatever it is that kind of, you know, is enjoyable to you. I think we forget to
I
kind
love
of,
hot
you know, do
chocolate.
that.
Hot
Yeah.
chocolate's the best thing.
Yeah.
I don't do chocolate, to be honest. I can't do
What?
chocolate. Yeah.
Dude, hot chocolate on a cold day is the best thing.
I mean, I can make hot chocolate, don't get me wrong. I'm just not a chocolate person.
That's fair. There you go.
It's,
Okay. So yeah. So okay. So you're stressed, and you got to find something that you like to do to do it.
Mhm.
Um, in our in a lot of society, especially in our Arabic society, people
Yeah.
pressure their kids to be like. I remember when I was like at home, like reading a book or just drawing or something or doodling or something for a bit. My parents would come in like, "Why aren't you doing your homework? Why aren't you studying for your exam?"
Yeah. No, I mean,
Yeah. Do you
it's
think this
okay
is
to doodle for 20 minutes so that you can continue your homework more energetically. Like, definitely.
yeah.
okay?
Definitely.
But stress is not something that's hard to deal with. It's relatively easy. We just
You say
overcomplicate. No, it's
You
true.
say it's
We
not hard, dude. That's the
overcomplicate.
biggest problem everyone faces is stress. I feel like that's
Everyone
the main
faces
thing.
stress, but we
Right.
overcomplicate its solution. That's what I feel. Is that we
I
overcomplicate.
think the thing is, we're, as a society, we've given so much value to productivity and outcome and results. So we're very results driven, so that all our time, if it's not productive, I mean, if you're just doodling, that's not seemed as productive, right? It's
Right.
not deemed a product. So then, therefore, you shouldn't be doing it. You should be doing your homework. So you're constantly doing homework, you know, things that are
Right.
taking away from you rather than doing little things that actually give back to you, because that's not productive. So I think this is where we have it wrong with modern society.
Is that we don't
Nice.
take things in moderation anymore. I think is also
Right.
another thing. We like to overdo stuff and underdo
Right.
sometimes.
And we're praised for it. We're absolutely promoted and praised and awarded for things like that.
It's hard, like because it's not fair. Some people just can't take the same pressure as someone else, right? So
Right.
it's sort of like a survival of the fittest in terms of pressure. If you can handle the pressure well, you'll find yourself ranking up very easily. And if you're someone who just like you're good at what you do, you're just not good with pressure, and it's like
Yeah.
it's bad.
I mean, I
It's
don't get this whole Arab thing of having to be the best, the top in your class, the best in your grade, or what I think is just so overrated, being
Right.
the best. You know, I think be
Yep.
your best.
Yep.
There you go.
I've
Be
agreed.
your best, right?
I agreed with
Your
this
best.
statement in my second year of universities when my brother told me. I asked him, why aren't you like doing better than all your other friends? He's like, Ali, why should I? Just like seize till you get your degrees, and that's my
Hey,
new.
no.
No,
That's
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 my
not
new
what I
thing.
mean either. That's not what I
Seize,
mean
Hey,
either.
seize till you get
Don't
your degrees.
twist it.
Why do I have to be the
That-
best in university? I can just pass
Yeah, but
normally.
I'm not saying be lazy. I'm saying do your best. If
What if
your
my
best
best
is a
is C's?
C, then that's fine.
Okay,
But if you're just gonna settle for a C because that's the passing mark, then that's not okay.
but my best is what I'm settled for, which
How
is
do
the
you know?
C. It's
How do you
okay.
know? But how do you know what your best is, Ali? How do people know what their best is unless they put in that?
Ooh,
effort?
Because
that's a
they
good
know
question.
that they've given it all they've got, yeah. But so if it ends up being a C, I'm not gonna beat myself up about it, because I know
Right.
that I gave it all I had. But if I'm just settling for a C because I know that I don't want to work any harder, that's where the issue is. So I always tell my kids, like, I don't expect you guys to get A's. I just want you to do your best. And if your best is a C, I'm okay with it. If your best is an A, I'm okay with it. It doesn't matter.
I see.
Fair.
It's,
Okay.
I mean, this is right. But it is very interesting to say. Like, this is an important thing, just because, like, my parents kind of pressured me to get A's, and that's how I kind of got A's a lot of the times, just through like doing the extra work on top of the work I was doing. And I feel
but
like
how much did you enjoy like your life? You know what I mean? Like
right, true.
So
Right. No, that's fair. No, that's 100% true. Right?
Yeah.
How much? I mean, happiness is what we're all looking for, right? Having a happy.
Absolutely.
I mean, I wasn't as
Mm,
pressured as you, Ali, but my parents did give me shit, a lot of it for, because in
right.
school I was the D student, right? Until I
Mhm.
reached my final year, that's when I went from D D D D D O A star A star A B B
What
A.
happened?
Life happened basically. I had a challenge.
What? You
I
had a
had a
challenge?
challenge with my family. I was like, all right,
See, they
boy.
pressured you. They're like,
No,
dude,
it's not that they pressured me. It's that my dad basically gave me the "you're useless" speech, and I was like, okay, give
oh
up
my
that.
god.
And then I surprised him with like this grade, and he was
Right.
like, "Not bad. There's
Mhm.
actually there is hope, young Padawan." And I was like, "Yeah, Dad,
Right.
there is, right?" And I
I
was,
know. Listen, this is like good and so sad as well at the same time. Because why make our kids feel useless and then so that they can achieve, right? So that they can
That's
achieve.
so
Like,
silly.
why don't we talk? If someone told you, Ali, you're awesome, I know you're doing your best, and if this is your best, I'm really okay with it. I just really want you to, kind of compete with yourself every day.
I
Mhm.
think it's just because my dad knows my potential, and that's why he gave me the "you're useless" speech. Because he's like, "I tried so hard with you, and you're still being like this. Like, Khas, I give up on you." And I was like, "Wait,
Mhm.
no, I can
Wait,
still do, I can still do good. I promise. Watch." A
Mhm.
star, A, B, 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 B. And he was like,
Wow. That's all it had to take.
"Hey,
Hmm.
that's
Yeah.
that's pretty good,
Right.
like, hey, and that's what happened. No, you know what I think? Be tough on your kids. I'm gonna be honest, because I feel like when I'm telling my son, you know what, if D is all you can do, that's fine. And this is me being honest. I just feel like it's gonna be always D D D. But sometimes kids need that extra push. You know what I mean? Like that
Right.
extra push to reach a whole new potential.
I think this is a very interesting conversation to have for sure because I don't know which works better. I know I have a son and a daughter, and I know they're very different. And I know that
Right.
my daughter already beats herself up about, not being the best. So if I'm just gonna tell her, like, if I'm gonna
Yeah,
put
it's
that
just
pressure
gonna
on her and validate her,
pretty much.
insecurities further, I
Right.
don't think that. But maybe boys are a little bit different. Like, I mean, I don't know.
A
Right.
very
It's
man
interesting. Yeah.
said boys are stupid.
hey,
So
you need to push him. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
You gotta leave him
you
with a
gotta give them
stick,
that
carrot on
shove.
a stick.
You know, I learned to
Yeah,
swim.
yeah.
I learned to swim by getting shoved into the pool when I was a kid. I was like, gosh.
Yeah.
And I had to. It was either
Hmm.
drown or swim, basically. And
There
there
you
you
I,
go.
go.
that's how my husband taught my kids as well.
Oh, see, did it work? Come on, it worked. It worked. There you go.
That's
That's all
amazing.
they need. Sometimes they just need a little shove into the pool.
In the pool.
And it's like, you know what?
Yes.
Here you go.
Mhm.
Now you've been placed in this situation because end of the day, animal instincts always tend to kick in our most dire situation, right? And
Right.
that's when it's the whole fight or flight stimulation kicks in, and
I
everyone's
agree
like,
with you. I agree with you. But what about putting your kids or yourself in fight or flight every single day?
"It's good.
This is
Right.
where
That's
stress
on. That's
comes.
It
This
keeps
is
you
where
up and alive."
anxiety comes. This is where
right.
stress comes. This is where
Right.
you're like, I'm out of whack. I'm out of balance. I'm
Fair.
not sleeping well.
It's
I'm
you know what the
overeating.
issue
Right. True.
is.
You know.
I'll tell you where the issue is. The issue isn't to do with us being in that situation. The issue it stems from how we deal in that situation. It's human nature to be put in fight or flight mode. Otherwise, we wouldn't have it in our systems to begin with, right? So I
Well, no, I don't think we're supposed to be in that situation
All the time.
every day, all day.
Right.
Yeah,
It's not
because
People
about
are
that's
super stressed,
your
Ali.
heart is pounding
I'm not
all the
saying
time. Your body's on alert mode all the
okay,
time.
well,
There are
okay,
people like
fine.
that, Ali. You
It's
gotta
not
keep in
it's not
mind
about
that are
putting
like that all
yourself
the time.
Listen, it's
Right.
not about putting yourself in that situation all day, every day. That's not what I meant. What I meant is every once in a while, it's
Being
good.
able to tap into it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
just to keep yourself, because some people they go into fight or flight and they can't choose whether to fight or whether to flight, right? And some people are
What
like,
do you mean by
okay,
that, Ali?
I'll tell you what I mean.
What does that even mean?
I'll tell you what I mean. Some people act sometimes stupidly. I used to be one of those people. I
Okay.
would get put in the situation where I have to make a decision and it's on the spot and everything is everywhere and I'm super nervous and I make the wrong choice. Why? Because
Right.
I don't decide to, you know what? Just take a breath.
Take a deep breath and be
Take
decisive.
5 steps back.
Right.
Analyze the situation, and then dive in and see what you can do. So this is something that it takes practice to do. It's not like in
That
the
makes
heat of
sense.
the moment.
That's a fair argument for it. Yeah,
but I
that's
need
true.
like this goes against all my psychotherapy learning.
It's fine. That's why listen. It's not a podcast if I just go like, yeah, you're right. You know what? Yeah, I agree with you. So let's convince me, Layla. You gotta convince me. It's either you convince me or I convince you. Let's do it.
I think fight or flight is meant to be if you're being attacked, your house is on fire, the plane is crashing. It's like, it's not a daily event, okay? So that's when the adrenaline kicks in and you're like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? So imagine feeling that every single day.
I mean, I
that's
do feel that.
Not a healthy, yeah, but that's
not
really
that's
why you're saying that
like
you don't, that's
really?
why you're saying you sleep at 4 a.m. and you know, you don't sleep well and you don't wake up right and you're not happy because you're studying all the time. I mean, that is exactly.
I didn't, wait a minute. I didn't say I'm not happy.
You said that you're studying all the time and you're sort of like
tired, yes, but not
you're
happy.
at home.
I never said I wasn't happy. Wait, what? Does it show?
Right.
Showing
Does it show that I'm depressed? I'm smiling all the time when I'm on camera.
No, it's not about that. No, it's fine. There are some times where I don't smile on camera. It's not about that.
Listen, nobody's happy all the time. This is a myth. This is a myth that everyone has to be happy all the time. We feel multiple emotions. We can feel many emotions at the same time, in fact. I can be happy and sad. I can be grieving and feel joy at the same time. We don't have to choose one over the other. And not one emotion is better than the other.
True.
So it doesn't mean that happiness and joy is so overrated in our society. We're constantly being pounded with messages of us having to be happy and positive and thankful and blessed and living in the moment. And that is not the majority's state of mind. I mean, I'm not saying we're all depressed. I'm saying happiness is equal to sad and equal to anger and equal to hurt and equal to all the other emotions. So I'm not judging you. I'm not judging anyone. It's
fair.
It's okay to feel.
No, that's fair.
I'm not
human,
saying.
Right?
Listen, it's not about that. It's just that I was worried that me actually being sad about what's going on is showing in my face. I was like, wait a minute, I never mentioned that, and you picked up on it, which is interesting.
Wow.
Now, here's why I'm a sad boy, right? Is because after I stopped doing those morning walks, I felt like something was missing, like heavily missing. And I just felt like overwhelmed with everything. And I just went back to being, sad. But not all the time, because I do this podcast, right? Ali, don't do that face before I fly to LA and like strangle you. Stop that shit. Ali, stop it. You're making me... I'll kill you, bro. No. It's not how it works. No, I'm being serious.
Listen, your feelings are valid. Everyone's feelings are valid. You're allowed to feel the way you want. I don't understand why parents don't let their kids cry things out. Don't let especially boys. Yeah, I mean, I'm talking to you guys. If you fell down and got hurt and you're being told to be a man and stop crying and stop feeling, and so, there's a lot of like.
Weird. I actually don't remember the last time I cried. Like I cried a very, very long time ago.
Well, maybe you should cry it out, Ali.
No.
On the show, cry it out.
No, I don't. Like even when I'm upset, I don't get upset. I become angry. Like I actually become very, very angry.
Yeah, because you don't go through the emotion of sadness. Go through it so it doesn't turn into anger.
Wow, that's some white wisdom.
And I just
why Ali? Because you're afraid. Listen,
it's not that I'm not afraid of anything, Ali, except for spiders. Okay. Deathly afraid of spiders. but like being sad. My fear of being sad is that I will stay sad. In a way, this is me opening up. This is me being very, very truthful and honest. I have a fear that if I become sad, I will never be able to go back to being happy or neutral. Okay. Let's say.
Can I give you some tips for that?
Go ahead.
Okay. Please go into your sadness. It is a cycle. It will complete itself. Continue to do the small acts of love, things that you enjoy, and that will give you the boost that you need.
Maybe. So you're saying embrace the dark.
Maybe.
It's hard.
It's not dark. It's because suppressing it is way worse than feeling it.
I'll try.
You know,
to let it
when we
tear.
suppress emotions, listen, I've been there, man. I suppress grief. That's my problem. I totally do. I don't feel it. I don't allow myself to feel it. I'm working on it, but it turns into pain in our bodies. It turns into sickness. It turns into lots of like much worse things. So if you just feel the sadness, it's much easier than all the other things it could turn into.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess so. I guess I have to just let out a tear every once in a while, you know?
Totally, man. If you need to watch like a sad movie to help you.
You know what's funny? Here's a funny thing with me is when I watch a sad movie, I actually don't tear. Like sometimes a friend or two, like they come over, maybe three, we'll watch a movie. Some of them are like upset or sad. I'm just like, oh, the movie's done.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
It's because we've been conditioned so much to suppress it that, you know, it's harder for you to feel it. So if you start like, you know, slowly kind of embracing it, then it'll be easy.
It'll be easy, huh? Okay, fair.
Amazing. Wow. Fair. Thanks, Layla. That's deep insight. I have another question I want to ask you relating to this topic. What about like people have different pacifiers for different like issues they have. So let's say instead of when they're sad, they eat, or when they're sad, they play video games, or when they're sad,
absolutely,
whatever, they do drugs, or they do whatever, do bad, whatever, right? So, what do you do about like that? Like we can talk about, for example, eating. I feel like eating is a common one, right?
Those are suppressants as well.
Okay.
So if you allow yourself to feel it fully, so we're not saying, oh my God, I feel bad, let me stuff my face, or let me go to a club, or let me drink, or so we're just trying to not feel that emotion anymore. So if we actually just sit with that emotion, let it come, let it take for as long as it needs, hours, days, you know, but it will pass if you stay with it. It will pass. It's not easy. I know it's a big ask because our whole upbringing is telling us to do the opposite. Yeah. So this is like rewiring your brains and kind of, yeah. So it's not easy. But if you do that, you will no longer need those suppressants that you're talking about.
There you go. Let's go through the cycle.
But have your outlets, yeah. So do the
have your outlets. So what's the difference?
Have your outlets because so
let's say I play video games, for example. Instead of playing Tony Hawk for like 10 hours, what's the? How do I know?
Video game is an outlet, so it's about expressing and getting it out of your body. So it could be dance, it could be writing, it could be singing, it could be swimming or sports. So think of anything that is getting that out of your body. So I don't think video games does it, but maybe I don't know what else you do, Ali. Like it could help.
Yeah,
we do this podcast.
We do this podcast. Yeah,
we talk to pretty cool people. We socially interact. Does that count?
Is that not?
Talking totally counts. Talking definitely counts because you're getting it out. But I mean, talking about your emotions. Yeah. So if you're maybe not a podcast, but if you guys have like a nice conversation between yourselves about it and let it out, then yeah, you're expressing it out of your body.
Do you think music helps? Because I know when I go through my crappy phase, I listen to a lot of like good music, and I'm just like out in public, you know, with my earphones.
Definitely, music helps.
On top of a mountain.
I mean, if you could dance, that would be even better, because
he's not gonna do that.
No, I'm pushing it.
You're pushing it a little bit for Ali. Yeah, for me also. I don't know. It's not that. I have other outlets. Bro, I can't dance if my life depended on it. Like if there was this huge demon that came as like you dance or you die, I'm like, okay, just take me already. Why are we here?
I don't believe that. Can you not dance in your own room with nobody watching you?
It's not about anyone watching me. It's that I'll look stupid and then I'll look at myself in the mirror and I'll just be like, the hell's wrong with you? Bro.
You're alone. Listen, the biggest way to get depression, anxiety, whatever it is out of our body is by shaking it, because it's literally in our body doing this. So if you're shaking it, you're getting it out of there. So that's the best way.
The way I
That's a
take
great
care
hack.
of it sometimes,
Mhm.
music.
What's
Music,
that?
Actually
playing
play it.
music,
So
yeah,
now-
Oh, if you
guitar.
play, that's
Actually-
amazing. Yeah.
Actually play it out.
That's a great
I
way.
play out a
Mhm.
sad song and I just feel so much better. It's just like a
Okay. Yeah.
there we go. You
If you can
know?
cry and
Right.
play it, then
No,
that's
that's
It's true.
nah.
okay, guys.
I'll-
Baby
I'll-
steps. Baby steps.
Well, baby steps my way to tears. How about that?
Cry while you're playing the guitar. One day, Ali, that'd be really cool if you can reach that point. I cried quite a bit, man. I've cried on the show before once or twice.
Yeah, you have. Ali,
Oh, really?
Ali embraces his emotions like they're a
I'm-
huge like Care
I
Bear.
love that.
I do.
Yes,
That's
I do.
awesome.
Yeah, sometimes I watch a sad movie and I cry, or sometimes I feel sad and I
Yeah.
cry. But it's not like I don't think it makes me look stupid.
No, it's not about
No,
looking
no,
stupid.
you're being human. What do you
It's
Right.
fine. I wish
Exactly.
I wish I can cry on the show. I just can't. It's not that I don't want to. It's not that I'm suppressing it. I just can't cry. I don't know why.
You know what, Ali? Me and you need to have a one-on-one like therapy session.
Let's
and
do it.
Maybe
Let's do
then we'll get you to cry.
Let's do it. If you can get me to cry,
Oh my god.
cried in the past will be so jealous of you. It's gonna be super funny. Oh
That
my-
is not the goal. The goal is to open up those emotions. And if you decide to cry, then be it.
You know what? Let's try it. I'll definitely do it. How about that? Get me to cry.
Okay. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, but there are people that also over exaggerate their emotions
Right.
sometimes, and this is what I like to do. True,
Mm.
majority of the people, or let's say majority of guys, mainly suppress their
Emotions,
inner
right.
emotions. But there are in the other spectrum, right? Like somewhere around here, where you have people who over exaggerate their emotions. Now, do you think it's over exaggerating, or do you think it's just that they're very emotional?
Fully embraced. Yeah, exactly.
I think it's personal. So if their reason of crying it out or whatever is because they've been through something, so a breakup or someone's passed away or whatever, then that's valid. But if it's if it's cry for attention, then they need attention. It depends what it is that they need. Why are they acting
Right.
out?
I guess, yeah.
That's fair.
That's fair. Yeah. So what's your preferred way of, elevating grief and sadness? What's your love
To
yourself
go
method?
through it, honestly, to go through it, to actually sit in that emotion, regardless how uncomfortable it is, but just to kind of sit in it, be okay with it, embrace it, and let it out.
Mm. And what do you do? Is walking the only method you have because you said do those little love, what did you call it?
Acts of love.
Acts of love all
Yeah.
throughout the day, right? What's your act of
Yeah.
love throughout the day?
I do so many things. So definitely walking, exercising. I love swimming. I love swimming in the sea. I find that very refreshing. Biking. I love painting. I'll dance with my kids. I'll sing with them. I'll laugh with them. I'll cry with them. Like I have, I embrace it all.
Look at that. Did
Yeah.
we, Ali? Are you okay?
That's amazing.
Are
Wow,
you
I'm so
okay there?
inspired. I'm not crying.
Yes,
You
it
are.
looks like you are.
I'm
I
kidding.
mean,
I'm just yawning. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
You look. No, your
I
face
don't-
went red, and your eyes are all teary. I could see it. Now that you have your HD camera on you,
Nah, I'm
hey,
just I'm inspired, Layla. That is true. Yeah, I can get all the details. All right, I'm not crying. But Layla, this was awesome for sure. I'm really inspired by all you shared, and I think this is a really huge important message, just because a lot of people they have so much stress going on and they get caught up with all the wrong things, whether it's
I agree.
politics or whether it's some
I
relationship or
agree.
just work or whatever. They forget that what matters most is just taking care of yourself.
yep,
And living a good
Absolutely,
life.
man.
Self-care.
Be your number one fan
go.
and
Yep.
and love yourself number one before
That's
you
me.
love anyone else.
Love yourself. Love
I
yourself,
love
people.
myself. There you go.
Speaking of
182 the
sad,
show. Let's go.
Whoa.
There we go.
A2 the show loves you guys. If you don't love yourself, we do.
Ba-bum, ba-bum,
Speaking of
ba-bum.
sadness-
yeah, we love you guys.
Sad to say we have reached our timestamp. And I hope you guys learned a little something from here. I learned something. I'm gonna go to my bedroom now and cry it out.
Cry.
I'll try. Listen,
That's
no
amazing.
promises, but I will try. Okay. Thank you for watching another episode. If you did enjoy the show, please do like, subscribe, share this to someone who might be going through maybe what I'm going through, the disability of crying. Who knows? They might be able to unlock something in themselves.
Who knows?
Layla, if you have anything you'd like to shout out or let the world know, now is the time.
Thank you guys so much. This has been awesome.
It's been great. I enjoyed this. I learned a lot. And you can check her out. We'll leave a link in the description to her Instagram page and all of her socials.
Right. Follow the page so you can see all the morning walks, and
follow our page so you can see clips on different subjects. And 75% of you aren't even subscribed. What are you guys doing? Like, I don't get it.
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
No wonder you're sad. You're not subscribed.
Wonder, yeah, you're not subscribed. So, Layla, what happens to those 75% if they do not subscribe to the show?
They need to cry it out.
Cry it out. Cry it out and subscribe. How about that?
Yeah! There you go. Cry it out, subscribe. Yep. This is how we do it.
I'm Ali. That's Ali. She's Layla.
I'm Ali.
That's how we sign out.
Layla.
See you guys. Good.
Sirtuins, which are like emergency responders inside our cells that then help the cells repair themselves. Because what his whole theory on aging is that as we age, when our cells are duplicating, our cells are constantly having to duplicate, right? They're making poorer and poorer copies. So it's like back in the old days of CDs, when you're copying CDs over and over and over again, there's CD degradation. And that's what happens as we're getting older. And that's what's responsible for our joints hurting and our hair turning gray and getting wrinkles and all these things. So he's like, okay, what if I hack that process? What if I sent in these sirtuins, and these sirtuins inside these cells could help cells make cleaner copies? And so there's not the degradation that comes as cells